Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Red jasper. Bought 500 grams of red jasper off eBay. Some of these sellers are selling these crystals, or what they call crystals, for the spiritualists. Which annoys me because the spiritualists are getting in on this stuff and it is driving the prices up of it. And I won't go into the spiritual side of rocks, other than the fact that I think that it's just bullshit. But anyway, I don't want to go into that. But this is not a viable way of buying rocks, because this was reasonably expensive to buy, even 500 grams of it. And jasper and petrified wood, I've said for a long time, is probably my favourite rocks out of all of the sparkable stones. I have a soft spot for flint. It's called flint and steel for a reason. The main reason because in areas where percussion firelighting started up, I think it was because flint was so available, mainly in Europe and that, where they were doing it. But so I'll always have a love and soft spot for flint. But being in Australia, flint isn't very available, so I've had to branch out, and I have developed a love for other stones, and jasper and petrified wood are my two favourites. So I wanted to get another type of jasper, and red jasper seems to be about the most common of the jaspers around. This stuff's not real good. Some of it sparks reasonably well. This piece is about the best, mainly because it seems to have some quartz in it, so I can get good sparks off it. But and this one, depending on where you go, again, seems to have quartz crystal deposits in it, and I'm getting good sparks off it. Other bits are mediocre at best. I can barely get sparks off. I'm getting sparks, but not real good. So I'm not disappointed in it, because this is going to test me. It will frustrate me, obviously, but I will get sparks off it, but it is not the easiest rock to get sparks. I would equate this to obsidian, although I actually find obsidian easier. It's got good sharp edges on most of it, but much of it doesn't spark very well at all. That one I haven't even... I'm getting the occasional spark. As I said, it's not really viable to buy it in this slot, mainly because I think the crystal people are getting in on it, and the metaphysical people are getting in on it and are buying this stuff up, because that's who I bought it off, was of a crystal seller and they had the whole spiel about the metaphysical properties of stones and how to cleanse your chakras and all that rubbish. But anyway, which I don't ascribe to, but I just want to buy it to be able to spark off it. And basically, you can't get this sort of thing. No one sells like the likes of jasper, as far as I have ever found, for flint and steel. I've yet to find someone who will sell jasper in reasonable quality quantities for flint and steel use. So that's how it goes. Flint I've seen for sale for, obviously, you can get it, depends on where you go, but obviously you can get it many places. Depending on where you're buying it from, it's going to cost you money, obviously, but if I get it from Rocky Instincts, it's not too bad. Buying it overseas, it's hideously expensive to buy flint, just because rocks are really heavy and this hasn't got a very good platform. So but I am determined to get at least this one rock, because this was the best sparking one to drive sparks. And I was hoping I'd be able to at least generate. Might not even be able to generate a ember. This is not the best char to use either, because it's that cotton rounds, and they are very fragile. As you can see, it's falling apart. I was hoping I'd be able to get an ember with it. I'm getting embers, sparks falling all through it, but it's just not picking it up for some reason. I don't know. That's a disaster. That cotton round was terrible. So buying flint from overseas is just hideously expensive. And I have seen quartz crystals for sale for flint and steel use, but again, I don't see the point of buying quartz crystals when you can buy flint, because honestly they cost the same amount of price for buying quartz crystals and that as it does to buy for flint. So I'm not going to buy quartz if I can buy flint for the same price. It's as simple as that. So, and by the looks of it, this jasper was a waste of money, because I cannot get that stone, which is about the best sparker out of all of them. I cannot hold the flint, the char onto it. Without it falling apart. And this is the problem with this, because it doesn't spark very well. You're only getting the occasional stray spark, and I'm using one of my best strikers, and the char's falling apart. And it's not picking it up. And that edge is degrading very quickly too. So I might have to just chalk this up to experience. Fair enough. But this is the sort of stones you might have to one day be stuck with. If you cannot find anything else, you might be stuck with mediocre jasper, and you just have to get it to work. So you just have to work with it until you get it to fire up. So that's just the way it is. And You just have to go through and work your stones and find one that works, and not get frustrated, and not not stop until you get an ember. I thought I saw smoke then, because as with everything, like if your life depended on it, you would have to get a fire. And if you didn't have solar as a backup, I don't know why this none of this chart is picking up a spark at all. Normally this char picks up a spark really well. I'm driving sparks onto it, so yeah, that's really surprising. I'll try this. This is my quartzite. So I don't understand that. That quartzite got it going without a problem. So that was within one strike. So yeah, I don't understand that. So it's not the char's fault, and I was driving sparks right onto it. But anyway, yeah. So this is I'm gonna have to play with it more, but excuse me. Yeah, it obviously this was not sold as a sparking stone, so that was neither here nor that's not. So that you can forgive them for not having sharp edges and all that, but most of it did have sharp edges to start with. So yeah, it was surprisingly, most of the pieces had good viable sharp edges to drive sparks off, and I was getting reasonable sparks with most of it. It's just they're not landing. They're landing, but they're not catching for some reason yet. I bet you if I went over to the quartzite, it would catch straight away. Again, caught straight away. So I don't know, and I'm driving sparks into it. So that's very strange. Yeah, I might just chalk that up to maybe the sparks are not hot enough. They're not being or not enough of them are being generated from it. Because there was only one. This one here seemed to spark the best, but I pretty well burned the edge out. Again, that's the edge burned out very quickly. But that normally, like you get that's developing quite a few sparks. If you could just get the char there, you should be able to. If the char's there, it should pick up a spark, one would think. Anyway, I'm rattling now, and this is not working, so it's not picking spark up. Anyway, I might regulate this to another day, and I'll sit down maybe tonight and excuse me again. Don't know what's wrong. And I might give it another go and see if I can get it to pick up a spark. But yeah, as you saw, the quartzite picked it up. The charcloth's obviously picking up sparks. It's just from this, it's could be not generating the hot enough spark to land on it properly, or it's not generating enough sparks to do it. But yeah, as I said, this was reasonably expensive, and I only got 500 grams of it. So yeah, and to buy more of it, yeah, and it's definitely not as good as the mookaite, which is another jasper. There's lots of different types of jaspers. There's a plethora of jaspers that are available, and this is just river red jasper. So yeah, this is probably the poorest quality jasper you can get. Yeah, and it's probably the cheapest you can get too. But yeah, obviously doesn't spark that well, and yeah, it doesn't seem to be very good. But this is the thing. You may be regulated to finding this is the best rock you could find, and if you had to, you would have to use this sort of rock. So yeah, I should not give up on it, which I won't. I'll experiment a bit more. Anyway, that's red jasper. Yeah, bought here locally here in Australia. I don't know where it's sourced from. They don't really tell you on the thing. It is bought from a crystal supply place, and yeah, as I said, it's for it's not for flint and steel use. It's for the metaphysic crystal people that want to heal their chakras or whatever. But anyway, I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for flint and steel, which obviously doesn't seem to work. Anyway, thanks for watching.